Hey guys, Torque17 here, bringing you my YouTube series System Guide, where I will do a brief overview of a system and then detail what sort of activities you, the citizens, can do there. The Vega system. Made up of 4 unassuming planets in an asteroid belt, it was once seen as a centerpiece for human expansion, expected to compete with the likes of Earth and Terra, but it soon found itself on the front lines of the Vandal conflict. It was first settled in 2402, with the 2 planets in the green zone being quickly terraformed, Armis and Selene. Everything was booming, the system was even earning UEE representation. Then growth came to a halt in the 27th century. Armitage in the Orion system was raided by the Vandal, and the planet was completely abandoned. Vega is now one of the closest systems to the Vandal. The population rapidly decreased, real estate prices plummeted. In a flash, the most profitable job in Vega was people who knew how to leave it. The Vandal raids have yet to come to Vega, but the constant threat of an invasion still looms over the populace. Native vegans consider themselves to be on the front lines, but few in the military agree. When they are deployed here, it feels like just any other safer system in the UEE because of the existing infrastructure and the direct connections to other homeworlds from Vega. Within the last decade, the system is turning around. People hurting for cheaper rent are starting to flock back to Vega. The only downside so far seems to be the occasional lockdown when Vandal clans are in the nearby Virgil system. Alright, let's take a closer look at the system's planets and see where we can make some UEC. Vega 1 is a small dwarf planet that only took 1 probe to say that it had absolutely no potential for any terraforming or any commerce at all. Moving on to Vega 2, also known as Armis. It is truly stunning for an inhabited world, which is orbited by a set of planetary rings with a number of small moons. The night skies here are incredible. The biosphere was adapted for human comfort, but the local flora and fauna actually adapted naturally and still survive today. Armis was the second planet to be settled in the system, but it is quickly rising in population to soon exceed its sister planet, Selene. For most of its life, it has been home for a number of naval and military bases, with a lot of people visiting for shore leave. New Corvo is the largest city on the world, and is becoming a center for culinary sciences of all things. Before I continue on with how you make UEC with each given occupation in Star Citizen, I do want to mention that this system guide did not have that much information on each individual occupation and how you can make money there. So a lot of this is speculation and a lot of this is subject to change. Alright, let's get right into it. For merchants and miners, there isn't that much to offer here. As a trader, you can certainly find some great foodstuffs and sell luxury goods and items to the typical military man or woman who would not have access to those items while on duty. There is little to no mining on the planet at all. Smugglers and pirates, this is not the place for you. The system is very much on the front lines of the war effort with the Vandal, and there's just way too much security in the system to even bother passing through. Given that, for bounty hunters, there's really no bounties here to grab. Might as well plot a course for a different system unless you need a nice vacation. Salvagers will certainly pass through this system en route to the front lines, but I doubt you will find anything to sell or buy at New Corvo. I think the biggest place to make UEC here is going to be the fact that it's a tourist attraction. It's an absolutely beautiful planet, but it's super close to the front lines. So it might be possible that people will pay a very high price to get a transport here. Next up is Vega III, also known as Selene. Selene is currently the heart of the Vega system, although most don't think it will hold that title for much longer. Unlike its counterpart Armis, it has representation in the UEE Senate, and having a seat is considered very influential. The largest city here is Titus. It is a huge city where the center is fully developed, but all around it is full of incomplete structures rusting that have been purchased by outside companies hoping to redevelop the region. Similarly to Armis and New Corvo, there really isn't any information on how to make money in Selene and Titus. The only information that they really gave us is that the city is on an economic downswing. So it's my assumption that this is a planet that you would go to 100% to buy and not to sell. Scrap metals from unfinished products have to be going for super cheap for both salvagers and merchants alike. For all their jobs, it's probably best to look into another area for some UEC. And some of the unfinished project areas, there might be some crime, so a bounty hunter could find a job here, but it's unlikely. Just beyond Selene lies a dense asteroid belt that is officially owned by the UEE government. It is not patrolled and has been heavily mined. Given most of the high-value minerals have been fully depleted, independent and aspiring miners frequent the belt to cut their teeth at the profession. There are no landing zones here, so for merchants, there's no potential profit. But for miners, there's a small profit or a great training area for a team looking for some practice. For smugglers and pirates, again, there's no place to trade, so no value in smuggling. But pirates can pick off some easy targets here as the system is not patrolled. Now, there's little profit in doing so, as there's really nothing of value in the belt. Mercenaries, you might find a bounty or two here, but there's got to be better places to travel to find work. Salvagers. I think you have the highest potential for profit in the area. You're sure to find a few destroyed mining ships, as the asteroid belt is extremely dense, so novice pilots and even experienced pilots in big ships such as Orion's are going to have a really hard time navigating the area. Vega IV. The final world in the system is Vega IV, which is your run-of-the-mill gas giant. Its independently owned refineries dot the planet's orbit, but the outer layer of hydrogen is pure enough for ships to refuel on their own. That's it for this week's system guide. See you guys next time, and don't forget to subscribe.